Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of my completed Places mini book from Everyday Explorers. This mini book is from a subscription kit released back in April of this year. Each month's kit has a broad theme which can be used in a variety of ways, so for mine I decided to document 12 of the places my partner and I had visited together before our daughter was born. Most of these trips go back several years before I was scrapbooking at all, so I don't have them in albums. In order to get my book done in a reasonable amount of time and to make my book look cohesive, I kept things pretty simple. I mostly used this Explorers alphabet set from Everyday Explorers combined with some printed text and titles on my photos. Speaking of the printed text, I wanted to have some kind of type journaling, and so what I decided to do was to print directly on the pages. I did this by taking apart my book. I just removed the staples, and then I was able to feed the pages directly into my printer. This worked out pretty well, except for the very first print where I didn't feed the page correctly into my printer, and so I ended up smearing a little bit of the ink. Once I printed the text on my pages, I just sewed the book back up together. I used a basic bookbinding stitch, and it holds the book together pretty securely. For my intro page, I stamped the title, Places with You, using the Explorers Alpha, and then I handwrote about what this book is about and what it contains. I made a cluster here on the bottom using some stickers from Everyday Explorers and a couple of stamps. All of the stamps that I've used in this book are from Everyday Explorers. I've been fortunate enough to be on their creative team for a few years now, and so I have quite a few of their stamps. This first spread documents Rennes, which is the city where I met my partner for the very first time. We actually met in front of the swimming pool because he was going to help me get a card so that I could swim there. So I included a photo of the actual swimming pool, and then I used this sentiment which says, "This is the spot," to write across the pool, which I think is just perfect. These stickers are from the kit, and then I've stamped Rennes using the Explorers alphabet set. This next page shows a day trip to Saint-Malo. Although I didn't scrapbook during these years, I did journal quite a bit, and so I was able to find some quotes in my journaling and include that in my text. I just created a photo collage with some pictures from that day, and then I stamped the title right here on this tag using the same Explorers Alpha. This next page shows our first time in Paris together. I had been to Paris before, and my partner is actually a native Parisian, but this was the first time that he showed me around the city, which was pretty awesome. So for this spread, I have a couple of photos, and then I used some stamps from the Passport Paris series. So Christine from Everyday Explorers created a few different sets that are specific to a city, and so using these stamps worked really well for any city that I went to. This next spread documents a trip to London. Again, I used some stamps from the Passport London series, just a photo and some text, and then I used a couple of stickers just to cover up the printed lines that I wasn't going to use. These stickers are really old from my stash. I believe they are from Studio Calico. This next spread documents a trip to Rome. I printed a few photos, and then I used some stamps from the kit stamp set here, and then I layered them over the photos, which I think adds a little bit of interest. This next page shows a trip to Naples. Since the previous page was a little bit busy, for this one I kept it pretty simple. I just used a large photo, which I split down the middle and across two pages. Again, I included a quote or something that happened during the trip, which I thought was funny, and then I stamped the title using the Explorers Alpha. This page shows a week that we spent together in New York City. This stamp here is from the Passport New York series, And then these stamps are from the kit. This one, the sticker is from the kit. And then this stamp here is from an upcoming stamp set called Local Travel, which is releasing this week. This next page shows the first time my partner came to San Diego. I stamped the title using the Explorers Alpha, and then this stamp is from the Passport California stamp set. These labels I created digitally. I just recolored these colors here so that they would match the colors in the spread. And then this sticker is from the kit. This page shows a trip taken to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks. I created another photo collage and then layered the title over the photos in Photoshop. Here I wrote the story, which makes me laugh a little bit now because it's about when I was planning this trip with him and I asked him if he was okay with hiking. He told me he didn't know, either because he didn't understand what I was talking about or he hadn't done much trail walking. But we found that he was in really good shape and he had no trouble keeping up with me, so that was a really nice surprise. These two stamps here are from the My Places prompt set, which was released earlier this year. And then this one is from an older stamp set called Summer Scenes from last year. This page shows another destination on the same trip to California, which was to Yosemite. I made another photo collage in Photoshop, and then I used these stamps here on the opposite sides of the page to sort of balance everything out. This page shows another trip to France where I met his parents for the first time, and then we went to Bordeaux for a few days. I kept it pretty simple again, just a couple of photos and then the text, and then I stamped another stamp in a different color just so it would give it a little bit more interest on that page. This final page shows the last trip that we took, which was to Belgium during the Christmas holidays. We visited Bruges and Brussels on this trip, so I used a couple of the photos for each city for each of the pages. I just added a little sticker on top of this line because, again, I wasn't going to use that line there. For this final page, it originally had 12 different boxes on the pages, and so I decided to make some collages with all of the ephemera I have from our trips. I don't know about you, but I collect all the things on my trips, and so I have lots of maps and tickets and lots of stuff from all my trips. So I took pictures of those things, and then I included a few selfies because I realized that I didn't actually have a lot of pictures of us in the previous pages. Finally, on this last page, I just stamped some gratitude sentiments, and then I stamped the date when I finished the book. It looks like I started this book back in the beginning of April, but the truth is that I did a couple of pages at the beginning and then I didn't touch the book for about a month. I would say that the whole thing was done pretty quickly, about 1 week in my spare time in the evenings, and I like that it came together pretty fast, and I know that I'll enjoy looking through it every now and then. So let me know if you have any questions. I've tried to mention the stamps that I've used, but if there's something I missed and that you want to know, just ask me. Thanks for watching.